Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt, and this is my amazing and talented co-host, James. Welcome to Project Music Past, Present, Future, where we talk about the best of the best from all the music genres out there in the country. Today we have an amazing show ahead for you, and we are going to go crazy.
In our episode today, you know what's about to go down. We are talking about one of the top music genres out there, hip hop, baby. You know the vibes. We're talking about drama, throwback segments, the popular albums, popular artists, and to end it off, we have our fun and pop out segment of lyrical, along with questions to answer about hip hop. We will be bringing a special guest on our show to join us towards the end of the show for our daily show and interview to answer our questions about hip hop and rap and our fun segment of lyrical.
We are starting off today's episode by asking the prime question. What is hip hop, and how do you feel about it? Now, to me, I think hip hop is more than its name. It's a movement of poetry, dance, and art coming together to make something fire.
I agree with you. Hip hop is one of the best music genres out there. Rap music has always had its way into so many playlists around the world. It just makes you feel some sort of energy that you never had before.
Exactly. Now we will be discussing the most popular albums and artists from the past, present, and upcoming future. Let's get down to business. The best 3 artists from the past. The list is long, but man, the list is also fire. We got to number 1, the notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls. Rest in peace to legendary man. He made hip-hop go off in the 90s. His best albums, he brought the fire out, were Ready to Die, that was released in 1994, and Life After Death, which was released in 1997. We lost this king in the March of 1997, but his hip-hop music will go down as the best of all time.
You said it best, Matt. Number 2 on our list, we have the one and only Eminem. The famous rapper had some of the best rap music in the world, has heard in a long time. In the early 2000s, he dropped 2 of the most popular albums that so many worldwide still listen to this day. His best albums that he dropped had to be the Slim Shady LP that was released in February of 1999. The next world famous album that he dropped was the Marshall Mathers LP, produced by world famous Dr. Dre. This album was released in May of 2000 and would probably go down as one of the best hip hop albums from the early 2000s.
Last but not least, from the past hip hop music, we got the Miss King himself in Tupac. His music is what hip hop artists now looked up to. His best albums were All Eyes on Me, released in February of 1996. Next one after that was Until the End of Time, that was released in March of 2001. We lost this world-famous hip-hop artist in September of 1996, but his music will continue to inspire the next generation of hip-hop artists, which now leads us into the top 3 artists in the present-day music. Take it away, James.
Coming in at number 1 on our list of the best hip-hop artists in present day has to be Drake. Drake has been in hip-hop music for a while now. Now his top 2 albums aren't the ones that were just released, but the ones that made him a hip-hop favorite. The first album on our list is Views, that was released in April of 2016. Next album after that has to be Scorpion, that was released in June of 2018. These albums made Drake a superstar and made the world love his music, and he continues to drop more albums as the years go, by making him one of the top tier hip hop artists.
Drake has always been an amazing hip hop artist. Number 2 on our list is the legend of the present day hip hop and rap world, who is dearly missed in Pop Smoke. We lost this legend recently in February of 2020. His music is still is released after the death, and his music right away made him a world famous idol of rap music. His first best album had to be Meet the Woo, that was released in July of 2019. His next best album came a world favorite all over hip-hop generation with Shoot for the Arms, Aim for the Moon, released in July of 2020. Pop Smoke is a hip-hop legend that the world now knows as not just an artist who passed away, but an artist who passed away and made his mark on hip-hop and rap music forever. His music will go down as top 10 in hip-hop of all time forever. Moving on with our final artist for best hip-hop in present-day hip-hop, we have the one and only sensation, J. Cole. Now his best two albums, one of them was just recently released, and in my opinion, one of the best hip-hop art albums ever. The first album was released in December of 2014. That album was titled Forest Hills Drive. This album was straight fire and is still listened to today, and was also the album that made J. Cole more known in hip-hop music. Next album was his most recent drop in May 2021 called The Off Season. This album was surprisingly amazing and climbed him into the top hip-hop artists for the year of 2021.
All these artists have made their marks on the world of rap and hip-hop. They are letting their presence be known that as they continue to inspire the next generation of famous rappers. The future is bright in the world of hip-hop as we have young stars already showing out such as Lil TJ at 20 years old, NBA Youngboy at 22 years old, and Kid Leroy at 18 years old, 18 years of age. The list goes on and on. These young stars are going to make their impact in the future of hip-hop, and the whole world is excited to see what they have in store.
Yes, we all are. We can't wait. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we have more exciting content for you guys to enjoy. Don't go anywhere, live on Project Music.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
We're helping our classmates.
Thank you. Aquí ayudamos a quienes les gusta comer postres ricos.
I'm helping my customers.
Sim, muito obrigado. Tchauzinho. Eu estou a fazer isto para ajudar a minha família, comunidade e amigos.
Hi, my name is Marconi Gathers, the health director for the Township of Feud. Getting vaccinated is the best way to ensure that we continue to help others in our community. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, and free. So please continue to help your community by getting vaccinated at one of our upcoming vaccination clinics. Remember, together we can help our community.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Back to Project Music Past, Present, Future. With our next point on our show, we'll be discussing the drama stories from the hip-hop industry. Along with that, our throwback segments.
Throwbacks are songs. Throwbacks are songs in our show that we like to talk about because in the world of hip-hop, they are still heard of to this day, and they still leave their mark on the world. Maybe they bring back good memories from a wedding or a party or whatever the case may be. Throwbacks are and always will be legendary. But the question is, what what are some of those hip-hop throwbacks?
Now, we already talked about the past artists today, but those weren't the only artists from the throwback era of hip-hop. There are many more like Ice Cube, Common, Pusha T, T.I., the list doesn't end.
Now, the first artist we'll be talking about in our throwback segment is the one and the only rapper and actor, Ice Cube. O'Shea Jackson, SR, the one and only, born in June of 1969, made his mark known all over the hip-hop genre as the years went by. His popularity skyrocketed in 1988 as the album Straight Outta Compton made the rap world fall in love with him. Everyone knows his song, America's Most Wanted. This song was so big back then because the true meaning behind the song was just so heavy, and he let his voice be known.
I love that song because the meaning behind it was about social justice. He left the NWA and started his own solo career. He wrote this song because there was a TV show about crime that was named America Most Wanted. It was about criminals being taken in and being captured. Ice Cube flipped that show into a song because he realized that almost every criminal on that show was a person of color. With this song, he showed the world a sign that something had to change about social injustice and how no one should be judged based on the color of their skin. This ended up being one of his best songs and such a successful album for him to take as well.
Making Ice Cube a world-famous legend, not just by his music, but by producing, writing, and acting as well. Ice Cube has made himself known ever since the 1980s, and he continues to do that today as one of the best throwback artists to this day. The next person we will be talking about with our throwback segment is someone we mentioned in our top artists of the past, the legend of Eminem.
Not to be mistaken with the candy. Eminem easily is one of the top throwbacks in the hip-hop era. He made his presence known recently a couple weeks ago at the first ever hip-hop and rap Super Bowl halftime show for the NFL. Marshall Bruce Matters III is a songwriter, rapper, and record producer, and is one of the best-selling artists worldwide by having sales for his music over 220 million records.
Eminem has some of the best music still played today, but his number one throwback that is still listened to today has to be Without Me, that was released in 2002. This song, to this day, is one of the best songs in the hip-hop industry. Now, Eminem has always been top-selling, but the story from how he started just makes your jaw drop. When you listen to it, right, Matt?
That's right. Eminem had a super tough childhood. He was eventually marked by poverty, and he was abused heavily as a child. At the age of 14, he started rapping at clubs in Michigan, and when his absence from school played too much for him, he ended up quitting school, and this is what started his hip-hop and rap career.
It sounds heartbreaking, but then you see how successful and how you're just like, wow. He started from the bottom, now look where he is. Moving right along, we will be talking about the drama in the hip-hop industry.
Now, it isn't quite often where you see artists who say the other have anger or beef with one another. This isn't the case. Right now, we are going to hit you with 3 of the biggest rivalries and drama stories of the hip-hop genre.
Coming in at number 1, we have Biggie versus Tupac, a feud that was a conflict for a long time coming. One was from the East Coast, another was from the West Coast. They sang together at the world-famous Madison Square Garden in New York City in 1993. But their friendship ended a year later in 1994. The feud got started when Tupac was shot in Times Square, blaming Biggie for it happening. Then they both later ended up writing multiple songs dissing one another. This feud came to an end when they both were killed by shootings in 1996 when Tupac passed away by a hit-and-run shooting in Las Vegas, and Biggie was a shooting in downtown Los Angeles. Both of them were just in the middle of their prime takeoffs to their careers. This is one of the biggest hip-hop dramas in the world that is still talked about to this day.
Everyone knows that story about the hard rivalry of Tupac and Biggie. Moving right along with our next drama, we have the story between Jay-Z and Nas. Now, this drama story doesn't end with bloodshed, but was compared to the story between Biggie and Tupac. It all started in 1996, when Nas was supposed to attend Jay-Z's legendary debut drop for Reasonable Doubt, but didn't show up. Nas dropped his record just weeks after Jay-Z dropped his, clearly trying to make a point to his rival. The story continued the following year in 1997, when Jay-Z immediately called himself New York City's best artist right after Biggie passed away. So what does Nas do to get back at Jay-Z? He dropped the greatest diss track in all of hip-hop history, ever. This song was an attack on Jay-Z and led to Jay-Z dropping Super Ugly, which was an answer to Nas with his song, which ended up causing a lot of controversy even with his own mother.
So was the beef taken care of when it was over, or did it continue?
Things got quiet shortly after that with more diss tracks between the two, but nothing that big, and the entire hip-hop community started looking outside of them for ways to get entertained until 2005, where in New Jersey, on Jay-Z's world tour, Nas joined his rival on stage to perform Dead Presidents, and from there, their feud and drama was resolved.
Wow, what a story between Jay-Z and Nas. And there is no question that drama is still talked about today. But with our final drama story of the day, we will talk about a story that was a little more recent between Drake and Meek Mill. In this story, the question was, does Drake make his music? Does Drake make his own rap music? This question led to one of the biggest drama stories in hip hop for about 4 years. It started in 2015, where Meek Mill was getting comparisons to Drake, which got him angry because he stated that Drake doesn't make his own music. Drake's producer framed the Toronto native as more than a rapper, and that meaning not held to the customs that shaped the hip-hop community. Then the diss tracks began between the two rappers. Drake ended up releasing his famous song, Charged Up, in July of 2015, and his song back to back before Meek Mill could even get a chance to drop his own song of Wanna Know. The damage was already done for Meek, and it was too late. Drake clearly won the feud battle, but he was called many comments from this feud of the biggest ones being soft. Their beef officially ended when they joined forces in Meek Mill's song in 2019 of Going Bad. This song, to this day, is still one of the best songs between Drake and Meek Mill, and there is no more bad blood between the two.
Wow.
What are you doing in there?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
We're helping our classmates.
Thank you. Aquí ayudamos a quienes les gusta comer postres ricos.
I'm helping my customers.
Sim, muito obrigado. Tchauzinho. Eu estou a fazer isto para ajudar a minha família, comunidade e amigos.
Hi, my name is Marconi Gavis, the Health Director for the Township of Feud. Getting vaccinated is the best way to ensure that we continue to help others in our community. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, and free. So please continue to help your community by getting vaccinated at one of our upcoming vaccination clinics. Remember, together we can help our community.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Live from Project Music Past, Present, Future. With the final segment in our show, we have our final questions along our fun end-of-show game of guessing the artist.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And before we begin, we bring to you one of the best in all of New Jersey, our talented guest, Joe.
Welcome, Joe. How are you doing?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan of the show and always wanted to be a part of it.
Love to hear it. It's always an honor having a special and amazing talent on our show. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask you 4 questions. Then from there, we're going to play our little game of Guess the Artist, where we put up 2 lyrics from a hip-hop song, and you have to guess which hip-hop sensation sings that song. Sounds like a plan?
Sounds perfect. I'm so excited.
Great. Question number 1. What do you think of hip-hop as a music genre?
Man, that is a great question. Hip-hop is probably one of the best music genres out there. I was watching the Super Bowl halftime show a couple of weeks ago, and I loved it because it was the first time it was just a hip-hop thing. Hip-hop music just makes you feel a different energy, you know? It brings you out of your chair, and because every time you hear a song, you can always expect something different. And to me, hip-hop as a genre is just incredible.
What a great answer. Next question. Who do you think is the best artist in the past from the 90s to the 2000s?
Man, that's easy. Biggie. His music was just out of this world. Everyone loved his music and even his movies. His songs are most of the soundtracks. He was an artist that I never got tired of listening to, and to this day, I still love listening to his music. Rip to the legend.
Of course, Biggie is always one of our biggest guests, favorites, and I don't blame you at all. Moving on with our next question, we have, what have you heard about hip-hop drama that has shocked you?
The feud between Tupac and Biggie. I could never forget that story because no matter how much I knew from the music and from the story, it seemed like they both passed away from each other's hand, and I could never understand why. They were both successful artists, and it just blows my mind every time, you know?
Yes, of course, that story has to be one of the biggest hip-hop stories in the world. Our 4th and final question for you is, what do you love most about our show?
Man, where do you start? It's hard to pick one thing. You guys just have it all from start to finish. You guys are so entertaining. But for me, the best aspect from your show has to be the drama segments. Hearing the deep story and the feud between the hip-hop artists out there, it sometimes makes your jaw drop because you can't believe it. I love that segment so much, and you guys are just so awesome. It's so hard to narrow it down to just one option.
Aw, man, you're the best. Always appreciate you down there. Now let's move on. Ready for the fun and entertaining game of Guess the Artist?
I guess.
Let's just remind our audience the rules to our game. We're going to say 2 lyrics from 5 different songs, and our special guest today has to try to guess the hip-hop artist that sings those specific lyrics in 25 seconds. Now, let's get started.
Our first lyrics are, "Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you." You have 25 seconds to guess the artist. Ready to go?
Oh, is that J. Cole? No Role Models?
Correct. Bravo. Next one is, growing up, I'm getting old. Starting getting goals. Trying to make more money off my business and shows. You have 25 seconds, starting now.
That's little TJ from Born to Be Great.
That's correct. Wow, you really know your hip hop. Let's see if you can keep your streak going. Our next lyrics are, I think I'd lie for you. I think I'd die for you. 25 seconds starts now.
I don't need 25 seconds because that is my boy Drake from one of his best songs, Controller.
Correct again. Wow, Joe is on fire. Yes. We have 2 more. Let's continue, shall we? The lyrics are, you always treat me right. For a fact you never left. Through all the trials and tribulations, you always have my best. Timer starts now.
Is that Pop Smoke and What You Know About Love?
Yes, it is. Correct again. Will Joe go 5 for 5 and guess every hip-hop artist in our game today? Final lyrics for this perfect street is it love for the streets when the lights get dark? Is it unconditional when the Ferrari don't start? Final timer starts now.
Kendrick Lamar, Loyalty.
Right again. Our first ever guest to go perfect on our show and guess the artist. You were amazing today, and thank you so much for joining us, Joe. We hope that we hope to have you back on the show soon sometime. Take care and keep killing all of New Jersey with your amazing talent.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast, and I hope to do it again sometimes. Thank you, guys.
Wow, what a show we had today. And we are even more excited with what we have in store for our upcoming episodes. But we'll keep those a surprise for now. In our next episodes, we'll bring you more fire, more history from our other music genres out there.
It doesn't stop there. Everybody loved today's episode about hip-hop, but this is a project music, baby. There's so many music genres to talk about, and don't worry, we will cover the best music genres out there.
Absolutely. We are excited to see you guys again. We can't wait to show you what else we have in store just for you. This is only the beginning of our amazing show, and we have so much more material we have to talk about, and we want you guys to listen to every part of it. We love you guys, and our show is based on you. So we look forward to seeing you on our next episode, live on Project Music, past, present, futures.